others say, no, it's not going to happen like that. So you never quite know
Yeah.
what is just kind of being put out there as, I don't know,
No. All right.
fake news in a way.
Well, it
But
might.
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah. I mean, just talking about Amarim, I've not heard anything about Amarim leaving. I think he's organizing his team for next season. But talking about Tottenham, I did hear
Mm.
that, I did read that Tottenham is looking to get one of Manchester United's old manager. So
All right.
so when I saw former manager, I didn't have the time to read that article, but when I saw that, I thought, what former manager?
Ooh,
They better
yeah.
not. They
Yeah.
better not be getting Eric Ten Hag because
He's your favourite, wasn't he? Yeah.
that's just a disaster waiting to happen.
But you just don't know, though. I mean, there is a merry-go-round of managers. I mean, it's still possible, presumably, that Ange Costa
Costa,
Costa
Costa,
Postecoglou, that's it,
yeah,
yeah, Ange
Costa,
Postecoglou, that he'll stay. I mean, he's got that win under his belt now, the
yeah,
Europa League,
yeah,
so that could stand him in good stead to stay there. I'm not sure that the fans necessarily are convinced. Obviously, some are. They would like him to stay, but it was a wretched season, although he did have terrible injuries to deal with in the
yeah,
team. So maybe they should give him another chance. On another season, he might do brilliantly. So that'll be another interesting one to watch. And
yeah,
another thing, if I can just move it on a bit,
yeah, yeah.
talking of managers, something that won't please Oliver Glasner at Palace, and it certainly won't please me as a regular fan or other fans, that
Uh,
this possibility that they could be denied access to the Europa
oh,
League.
oh,
I mean, hopefully it's not going to happen, but the reasoning being that in fact, the biggest shareholder at Palace is somebody called John Textor,
right,
and I say the biggest, but Steve Parish, excuse me, actually does the day-to-day running, and there's two American billionaires who, between them, hold I think about 50%. Parish holds a bit less than that, and then this
yeah,
Textor holds 43%. So
yeah,
he's not got control, even though he's the biggest individual share. But
yeah,
anyway, he owns other clubs, certainly big interest in a couple of French clubs
right,
and possibly elsewhere as well. And the problem has been, and UEFA apparently are looking at this, the problem has been that in the Europa League and probably in the other European competitions,
yeah,
you're not allowed as an owner to be involved with another club of own another club as well or have
yeah,
investments there, which is pretty much the same, I believe, in our Premier League. You can't own or half own or part own one club and part own another club as well. That just doesn't work, so they don't allow it. And maybe this particular similar condition in the Europa League um, arises when a team actually qualifies for that. If Palace hadn't qualified that by winning the FA Cup, it wouldn't
yeah,
matter that he
yeah,
owns clubs in France, for example. But as they've now qualified, and indeed one of those, I think two clubs possibly in France he owns or has interest in, one of
mm.
those is also in the Europa League. Now,
Oh,
if that is the rule, firmly the rule, then it looks as though Palace could be told, sorry, you can't enter this competition. And what would really make it the most appalling event is that if they were denied entry into this competition, then the next team highest in the league, who are not in Europe, in this competition, then the next team highest in the league, who are not in Europe, would be given their place. And I bet you can guess who that would be.
is it your rival, Brighton?
Yeah. So can you imagine? I mean, I'm hoping. I read about this yesterday and the day before,
Yeah,
and they're just saying. I mean, John Textor, to be honest, has been trying to sell his stake in Palace for quite a long time, and it's not easy. Let's face it, to sell a stake in a football club in the Premier League because it's a lot
yeah,
of money, and they know they've already got other owners there as well.
yeah,
So but apparently he's trying very hard to sell it. But my concern and other Palace fans is if he doesn't, and he probably won't sell it in the next 2 or 3 months, you'd have thought,
yeah,
to sort of tie it all up.
yeah,
The chances are, if that rule is firmly applied, we could be told you're not in that competition. Now, I'd like to think the powers that be in UEFA would actually come up with something which recognises that it was Palace's first ever major trophy
yeah,
and first ever sojourn into Europe.
yeah.
Where the fans. I mean, friend of mine, he's actually already booked his tickets and a hotel in Istanbul for the final. Now
Finals, yeah.
he says, "Well, I'm not." He says, "I'm not necessarily saying Palace will get there." He
Yeah.
said, "I could always cancel it." He said, "But it'll be quite a good final to go to anyway." But
Yeah.
there's a lot of enthusiasm for Palace fans um, to actually travel to Europe. I mean, I'd like to do it for some of the games, for the away games. So it will be a huge letdown after the massive uplift, the joy of winning the FA Cup. If
Yeah.
we were to be now debarred from the Europa League, it will be pretty much as low as the other one was a high. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping that nothing will come of what I've read about this. But who knows?
Yeah.
Stranger things, as they say, have happened.
Well, I'm hoping it doesn't happen actually because I'm really rooting for Palace
Yeah,
to be in
their
Europe.
first time. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, because they really deserved it.
yeah,
It
they
was a
did.
well deserved. I mean, we talked about it some few months ago about how they actually started really poorly at the
Mm,
start of the season. Last year from August to December, almost to December, it was a really poor. But they picked it. They picked
yeah,
themselves up.
yeah. They
They didn't
picked
let
it.
that deter them, and it's well deserved. I'm
Yeah,
sure something would come up that would make that not happen because it would be really
I hope
sad.
so.
Well, yeah, I hope so. Because it's just gonna a lot of fans are gonna be.